Wow, have I got a game for you today? This is this would have to be a classic heavyweights of chess. These two matched each other in 1958 at Riga in the USSR Chess Championships at Riga 1958. So with the white pieces is Tal, and with the black pieces is Gala. Now this is no Queen's Gambit or something like a Petrov or something like that. This is Spanish. This is like they're taking their swords out, or they're dueling with this. Have a look at this game. Anyway, let me not do too much talking. Let the pieces do the talking. There are sub-variations of the analysis thereof, which is quite amazing. Just the sort of chess that they play just points to mortals like me that make me think that, yeah, anyway, we won't go into it. So all's quiet on the Western Front so far. So here we have the typical setup for the Spanish, the roulette as probably the French say it, but it's probably not even said like roulette. Anyway, A6 is the normal move. There is the knight d4 move instead, or there's the Berlin, and other ones too. And there's the the Spielman, the Sleeman, or something like that. So here we got A6 and bishop A4. Here, white has the choice of playing the exchange Riga pairs, or the Spanish. I'll just stick to. It's easier to say Spanish than try to attempt the other one. So here we have the exchange Spanish. And white does not win this pawn on e5 after bishop c6, even though it looks like it, because black responds with dc6 and either queen d4 after knight e5, queen d4, and it attacks the knight and the pawn on e4 simultaneously. So black gets an equal game quite quickly, or better. And also after knight e5 is queen g5. Okay, so that's just some small bit of theory that I actually know. So bishop a4, knight f6. So it's sort of like a Berlin, but it's not really, because white has been met with a6 on move 3. So castles is very, very normal here. And so if knight e4 now here, then we go into the open Spanish, the open variation of the Spanish, which incidentally was played a lot between Karpov and Korchnoi in, I believe, 1978 World Chess Championships. They played a lot of games with knight e4 after b5, I think it was b5 first, and then knight e4. Bishop e7, rook e1. Now, there's no possibility, of course, of knight e4. Not sensible possibilities, but if you're playing Tal, it could be probably possible. So here we got b5, which biffs the bishop away. That's the terminology that I've learnt from the Australian top player, CJ Purdy. This is called biffing the bishop, b5. Bishop b3, if you want to know the correct terminology, and it's probably maybe superseded with something a bit more appropriate or whatever, but biffing the bishop. Castling. So white is wanting to eventually, hopefully, play d4 and that sort of thing. And quite popular sometimes is just moves like a4, you know, if you want to deviate. Or maybe, and after a4, if possible, to play knight a3 and knight c2 and knight e3, this sort of stuff. I'm just rambling now. So d6, h3, a move that I've noticed Mikhail Tal plays a bit. Knight a5, and here Mikhail Tal actually plays bishop c2. And now comes c5 and d4. We're not going to give up the idea of playing d4, are we, Mikhail? And bishop b7. Back in 1958, this was a new move, a new idea, as we're playing black as FM Gala. That's how I say it, and so obviously Mikhail Tal is white. Here we have b4. This is quite an interesting move, and black just responds with cb4, cb4, knight c4. And here comes a developing move for white. So what move would that be? It would be either knight c3, knight a3, knight a3, or something like that. So white now plays knight bd2, which is very sensible, and as seen in other Spanish ideas that I've had on here on YouTube, is knight f1, etc., and knight g3 or knight e3, as in another game from Mikhail Tal that I featured on YouTube. So here we have knight bd2, and now this demonstrates who Gala is, this next move. This shows black's resolve and black's strength, and sort of like to match Tal, you have to play this way, else we can kind of crumble. So black's move, what would you play now for black? So black's move next, what would you actually play? It looks almost crazy, and it's not played by me that I'm saying this, it's played by Gala back then in 1958. So Gala now plays, good on you if you found this move, d5. Wow. And so d5, what a move. So we'll return to the drawing board, we'll flip the board. I've got things happening on my phone and that sort of thing, and I just went to I had a haircut yesterday, and I'm just I've just cleaned up my hair a wee bit, and there seems to be something, a little bit of hair left on my tongue. You know, the hazards of having a haircut. You know, we all love haircuts, don't we? Not when we're young, we don't like them too much. But anyway, stop droning and let's get on with this. So d5. Now we get some analysis here. I believe it was ed5 now. But first we will go down the line that they do not think Tal would play, which is a bit quiet for him, a little bit too, no feistiness to it, is knight c4, bc4 and de5, knight e4 and a3, and white can look to play a Karpov move, like, not a Karpov, but a Karpov move like knight d4 and blockading the d5 pawn and preventing the bishop life and that sort of thing. So that's not basically what Tal liked when he was still on the planet. He wanted to play something a bit more energetic. So he plays the main line, which is ed5 for him. Now we have some new analysis here. Knight d5, and we have knight c4. Of course we're going to have to get rid of that. bishop b4, a wee bit similar to the game that was played with Geller, but here we have rook b1, bishop e1, rook b7. Now this was shown to Geller post game. So rook f7, rook f7, here we come, look out, this is Tal coming. Rook f7. Now is it knight f7 now, or what happens now? What does black get met with now is bishop h7. And I think that this isn't the best move on the planet. This is the not so good move. Like, this is pretty amazing, really, isn't it? Let's face it. I mean, this is just amazing. Like, king here, and we've got queen here. Even the, oh, hold on, I haven't got that. I'll better stick with the program. Knight g6 check, king h7, queen out. I missed the checkmate, and queen h8 mate. So isn't that fantastic? Isn't just like, would this scare you? Because it would scare me. Frankly put, this would scare me. If I'm playing this sort of opponent, like, this is just crazy, but it's so inspirational and so good. You know, like, just bang, queen c8 and rook f7. Okay. Now we have the main line, which is the actual game. We've returned to normality again, if we can call it normal. We have knight c4 and bc4. Now, if we don't watch it, black will have this move next. So we can't allow that. So we take it with the queen, the d4 pawn. Now, surely, black can just, black takes this pawn. And the book gives rook here d1, okay? But Tal being Tal, he says, he has been commented, he says, there are two kinds of sacrifices in chess, of course. Correct ones and my ones. And I'll be putting that in the description. For today, excuse me. I just have to reposition myself. So there are two types of sacrifices in chess. Correct ones and my ones. Now he plays this move that might have had Geller go, what? Because often we might sacrifice a couple of pawns, me sort of thing, might sacrifice a couple of pawns for an advantage or whatever, or sometimes we might sacrifice not so much as that. So what happens is black met with bishop g5 here, or rook d1, or rook e2 sort of thing. Can you find the move that Mikhail Tal plays here? Not to say whether or not it's going to be any good for us to play this move, but Mikhail Tal played rook b1. So he's offering an exchange at least to black to have. So true to form, Geller plays bishop e1. And here comes rook b7. So now white's obviously an exchange down, and here comes queen c8, I believe. But we have, oh, not queen c8, because queen c8 is not so good. So we have here we have a line that the book suggests that would be returning the material to get equality, possibly with Tal. Is queen d5, knight d5, and knight e1. So returning the material gained to make it a bit more equal, even though I actually prefer white here than black. But black would have this c4 pawn, and I think that rook b8 is the final part of this analysis out of the book. So that's what the book suggests. But here Gala played rook e8. Now that's not actually a mistake as such, but they say that queen d5 is one of black's opportunities here. So rook e8. And now we have a pretty nice move, bishop, d6. I thought it was bishop g5, but it's not yet. So d6. So this is what Tal had counted on, that he was going to get this pawn on the 6th rank and also being exchanged down. So that's part of, shall we use the word compensation when we're talking about Mikhail Tal, or shall we say that's part of his flair, because he doesn't want to just play chess. He wants to play chess that entertains. So we can all relate to that, because if lots of people find your game really exciting, they're going to like it better. He won a brilliancy prize for this game. So he now gets met with queen c8. Now most people may plod on with just this move, yeah, maybe, or maybe this move, or something like that. But not Tal. Tal plays another brilliant move here. I believe it's this at this juncture that Tal now plays another brilliant move. Is there any possibility to play any more brilliant moves? He plays bishop g5. Look at this. He's now offering, as he said, 2 rooks for a piece. So he's offering the hardest material. Not anyone than Alekhine and all these sorts of players are known to be this energetic in their pursuit of basically the king on g8 for white to get. So here we have, if queen b7, then we have bishop f6, and then we have a very simple move. Maybe it's queen f6, or maybe it's something else. But here white just plays this move, bang, and it's all of a sudden really scary for the black forces. There's not much really to stop the enemy king of blacks to be thwarted in its tracks. Namely, here is queen h7 and queen h8 threat. So we could turn the computer on, but I won't, because it'll disturb the analysis thereof. So that's pretty final for black here, and white doesn't have to worry about this flight square. Now let's just say we try to get out of this. We might play this, but if I do this, it'll start to say, do you want to save this? Maybe white will try to run their king, or even here run their king. Maybe black will try to run their king, but they can't, because of queen takes h7, king f8, and queen h8 checkmate. So here it's more or less final, as the book would probably say. So here we go back. So we go down to the main line. Now rook e2. Look, isn't this beautiful chess? I mean, can I get any better chess than this? If I was in the movie with Russell Crowe and the Gladiator, what would I say here? I would say, are you entertained? Are you entertained? What must I do to entertain greater than showing you these games? I mean, these are just inspiring to any chess player on the planet. Even Magnus Carlsen would love this. So what does Tal do now? He goes rook c7. Because he's probably going, ouch, my bishop. And ouch, my rook. And so here comes, I believe, Queen e6. And now it comes to a pinnacle point in this game is the bishop's attacked, the knight's attacking the bishop. So now comes knight takes bishop, I believe. Yes, I was correct. Yay. And king h2. What else? Nothing else. So here we've got this position. And I believe that the next move that Gala played was very, very good too. They say it was the best move for black is rook d8 coming. But first we will see if white is met with any other deviation, and that of queen e5 check. This looks like we're going to swap everything off, but it's not very good for black because of queen e5, rook e5, and I think bishop f6 and gf6 and d7. Now we're threatening rook c8, of course, check, which is quite devastating to black's position. So black plays rook rook d8 maybe, but then after rook c8 it's finale. It's finito, because if rook d8 now, then rook c8, and then we just take the rook and it will be sort of similar to something else in the future. So that's no good for black. But it looks quite reasonable, doesn't it? Oh no, I've got to, this is someone who's ringing, and I've already said no, I can't answer. So here we've got rook d8, but I'm not going to take the phone off now. I'm not going to do this again. Here we have a move that looks quite good for black is rook d8, as mentioned before. So what does white play is rook e7 or bishop f6. As here is rook e7, we'll go rook e7, and what happens here is queen takes rook, and then this is no good. Bishop h7, so that if king h7, then queen h4 check, and pawn takes queen, or e7, but black just sidesteps here, and all of a sudden white has lost too much. This move here now is no good. So, but here black is met with bishop f6, and here Gala plays a big mistake. Gala should play one of two moves. So bishop f6, so Gala should now play what move? Gala plays gf6, but queen f6 results in equals. Queen f6, queen f6. Who would be surprised that Gala didn't find the best move here after all this sort of stuff going on? Getting off that back rank is very important to stop the aforementioned rook c8, pinning the rook, and then ending up a piece up. So here we've got bishop f5. So now we've got a position that's a little bit obscure in my point of view, that now white has a bishop and a rook, with a strong pawn on d7, of course, etc. So rook e5, and then we have rook c8, that's correct. And black can hardly afford to take it, and doesn't want to take the pawn either with the rook. So plays rook f5, rook d8, and now what would you play for black here to defend, which ends up as equals, is rook d5. So that's that line. And sorry about my phone going off, but anyway, that's just the nature of the beast. So here we got bishop f6, and we have the main line, which is gf6, which is considered by the book as blunder. Then we have this move of rook e7. Now this is, of course, hitting the rook on e1, which is very hard for black to defend. So after queen d6, then queen d6 is check. Is this what happened? Yep, queen d6. And I believe this is the next move. And rook d6 and rook e1. And is this the main line now? And rook e2, rook d2, rook c1, and king g6, oh, rook f2. And now bishop e4, rook a2, rook c4, rook c8 check, king g7, rook c7, and black's going to lose another pawn here shortly. The big threat, of course, first is this move here, rook takes pawn, check, and then after king takes rook, bishop to d5, check, and that picks up this rook on a2, the loose one. So that's the initial threat. Plus there's the threat of bishop d5 here. So if rook d2 to defend bishop here, then white can merely just go rook a7 and renew the threat. If rook a2, then I'll just finish with this. Rook f7, king f7, bishop here, king here, sort of thing, bishop takes. And now I'll just turn the engine on to just show you how the engine ends this game, and that's the end of the session. So we're going to go forcing the computer to make blitz moves, okay? I'm sure this is how the computer does it. It's just terrible, isn't it? Very demoralizing, just like Tal. Okay, probably worked it out when I started the analysis. Thank you very much for watching, and sorry for the intrusions. At least someone wants to call me. Thank you. I get lots of people calling me.